As a brain doctor, these 5 alcoholic drinks can cause heart attack and stroke. If you're over 60, that daily glass of alcohol you enjoy, perhaps just to relax, may be silently damaging your heart and blood vessels. As a cardiologist, I've seen many older patients walk into my clinic appearing perfectly healthy, often with a cheerful smile and a familiar line. "I just drink a little to help me sleep and unwind." But after just a few minutes of testing, the lab results often reveal a different story. Unusually high blood pressure, early signs of heart failure, or beginning stages of cerebral vascular damage, none of which they were even aware of. The problem isn't about intoxication, it's about consistency and the silent cumulative effects alcohol has on the cardiovascular system, especially after age 60, when your liver, kidneys, blood vessels, and nervous system don't function the way they used to. What seems like a small habit for relaxation may actually be disrupting your heart rhythm, triggering sudden spikes in blood pressure, impairing your vessel's ability to repair themselves, and fueling chronic inflammation inside your arteries. In this video, I'll help you understand the 5 most common types of alcoholic drinks older adults should avoid, how they biologically affect your heart and brain, and smart, enjoyable alternatives that allow you to keep life joyful without trading it for a higher risk of stroke or heart failure. Stay with me until the end, because the 3rd drink on the list is one many people still believe is good for the heart, but in reality, it's doing the opposite. And I'll close with one final mistake, something nearly 90% of seniors are doing every day without realizing the harm it's causing. Now let's start with the first drink, one that seems harmless, yet can raise your blood pressure dramatically within just 20 minutes of consumption.
1. Beer, the deceptively light drink. "Oh, I just have one beer to cool down. It's light." I hear this all the time. Many people, especially men, reach for a cold beer believing it's a safer choice. And it's easy to see why. Beer commercials are filled with laughter, refreshment, and a feeling of carefree relaxation. After a long day, a cold beer feels refreshing and almost harmless. But let me speak to you not as a doctor giving a dry warning, but as someone who has held the hands of husbands and wives at the bedside, trying to understand how such a light habit could lead to their partner's massive heart attack. Beer is misleading. It isn't as strong as whiskey or as sophisticated as wine, but behind that smooth foam is a truth your aging heart needs to know. At our age, the sugar and starches in beer are converted into belly fat with startling speed. And this isn't just about your appearance. That fat, especially the deep-seated visceral fat, is like a toxic chemical factory. It wraps around your internal organs and constantly pumps out inflammatory substances that can harden your blood vessels, raise your blood pressure, and slowly clog your arteries from the inside. Many of my senior patients don't drink to get drunk. They drink to relax, a beer with dinner, another while watching the news. But I have seen it time and again. That daily habit of just 1 or 2 beers quietly leads to high blood pressure, an irregular heartbeat, atrial fibrillation, and, over time, a heart that grows too weak to keep up. The process is slow and silent until it becomes sudden and severe. What's even more concerning is that beer often takes the place of water. At this age, our bodies are already prone to dehydration. Alcohol acts as a diuretic, causing your body to lose fluids more quickly. Dehydrated blood becomes thicker, forcing the heart to work much harder to pump it, and increasing the risk of deadly blood clots. So, while a single beer might feel light, its impact on your heart is anything but.
2. Cocktails, the deadly sweetness.
A cocktail in hand always feels like a celebration. It's colorful, fun, and often served with a smile. For many, especially women, a beautifully crafted cocktail feels like a reward, a small luxury after life's hustle and bustle, a way to unwind and enjoy life. But beneath that sweetness, under the tiny umbrella and the fancy glass, is a truth I have a responsibility to share. After age 60, the cocktail is one of the most deceptive threats to your heart. The reason is simple. Cocktails aren't just alcohol. They are loaded with syrups, creams, flavored liqueurs, and especially sugar. A massive amount of sugar. This combination of alcohol and a huge sugar load becomes a terrible burden on our aging bodies. As we get older, our pancreas doesn't regulate blood sugar as well, our arteries become stiffer, and our hearts are extremely sensitive to inflammation. Every sip of a sugary cocktail contributes to insulin resistance, weight gain, and a spike in triglycerides in your blood, all of which are mortal enemies of a healthy heart. But what's worse is that the sweetness masks the alcohol's true strength. It's easy to lose track of how much you're drinking, especially at parties or happy get-togethers. Because they don't taste like straight liquor, they become more appealing, even addictive. I've seen seniors who would never touch a drop of whiskey become regular cocktail drinkers, completely unaware of the silent toll it's taking on their blood pressure and heart rhythm. Just a couple of cocktails a week can trigger or worsen an irregular heartbeat, especially atrial fibrillation, a condition that dramatically increases your risk of stroke. It doesn't happen instantly. It builds up silently, invisibly, until one night your heart skips a beat and can't find its way back to a normal rhythm. I am not here to take away your joy. I am here to urge you to protect the very heart that has carried your memories, your laughter, and your strength through every season of your life. There are many other ways to celebrate, ways that don't come at the cost of your heart's future.
3. Red wine, the elegant lie about heart health. This is perhaps one of the most persistent and dangerous myths I see in my practice. A glass of red wine each night is good for the heart. You've heard it from friends, read it in magazines, and maybe even seen experts mention it on television. And I completely understand its appeal. It feels sophisticated, elegant, almost as if you're drinking a health tonic. It gives us the sense that we're doing something smart and beneficial for ourselves. But as a doctor who has dedicated my career to caring for thousands of hearts, I have a responsibility to tell you the truth, even when it's hard to hear. After age 60, that glass of wine is not protecting your heart. In fact, it is silently wearing it down. Here's why. Your body at this age simply doesn't process alcohol the way it used to. Your liver works more slowly, your heart muscle has become more sensitive, and your blood pressure is more easily affected than ever before. That seemingly harmless habit, even just one glass a night, is what steadily raises your blood pressure, weakens your heart muscle, and dramatically increases your risk of atrial fibrillation, a condition that can triple your risk of a stroke. I have sat beside so many patients in the emergency room whose lives were changed forever. These were people who did everything right. They ate well, they exercised. And then, when we searched for the cause of their chaotic heartbeat or their silent high blood pressure, the heartbreaking answer came back to this very habit. It's a devastating truth that none of them wanted to believe, and it's one I pray you never have to experience. 4. Hard liquor. Whiskey, vodka, brandy. There's a quiet strength in a glass of hard liquor. It's straightforward. No sugar, no frills. Just a bit of whiskey, a shot of vodka, or a glass of brandy to calm the nerves. For many seniors, especially men, it's a ritual, a symbol of resilience, or even a way to reconnect with memories of their youth.
but there's a harsh biological reality we must face. With age, your heart becomes far less forgiving of things your body once handled with ease. That small glass of liquor now carries a much heavier weight, and it's not just about the alcohol content. Hard liquor hits fast and hard. It causes a sudden constriction of your blood vessels, leading to sharp, unexpected spikes in blood pressure. This is dangerous at any age, but it's especially hazardous after 60, when your arteries are less flexible and your heart is already working harder. In the ER, I've seen patients experience angina, dizziness, and even mini strokes, all triggered by what they thought was just a harmless nightcap to warm them up before bed. The damage isn't always immediate, but it's cumulative. Every single glass chips away at your heart's rhythm, strength, and stability. What worries me most is that these drinks are often consumed alone. A quiet drink before bed to relax the mind, to soften the silence. But that same silence masks the tremendous strain being placed on your cardiovascular system. Your liver takes longer to process the alcohol, and all the while your heart is under duress. It beats harder, it beats irregularly, and you won't feel it until something goes terribly wrong. And if you're on medication for blood pressure, diabetes, or cholesterol, hard liquor can interact with it in unpredictable and extremely dangerous ways. The issue is no longer how much you drink, but how your body handles it at this stage of your life. And the truth is, it just doesn't handle it well anymore. So before you pour that next glass, ask yourself this: is this drink making me feel stronger, or is it just helping me forget that I'm feeling weak? Before we continue, if you're finding this video helpful, please consider subscribing to the channel.
5. Drinking to sleep. As we get older, for many of us, sleep can become something precious and elusive. The nights can seem longer, our thoughts can get louder, and the evening quiet can sometimes feel heavy. In that quiet, a small glass of wine, a little whiskey, or a nightcap cocktail can feel like a comfort. It feels like a gentle bridge to sleep. I have had so many patients tell me, "Doctor, it's the only thing that helps me get to sleep." And I believe them. I understand that longing for a peaceful night's rest. But what they don't realize, and what I desperately need you to understand, is that this habit is robbing their heart of its health night after night. Alcohol might make you feel drowsy at first, but it shatters the very rhythms your body needs to truly rest and heal. It interferes with REM sleep, the deepest, most restorative stage of sleep, where your heart repairs itself and your blood pressure stabilizes. Instead of resting, your heart is actually working overtime while you sleep. Your breathing becomes irregular, your blood pressure can spike. That's why you wake up feeling groggy, unrested, anxious, or even with a racing heart. And most people never connect those symptoms to the drink they had the night before. Worse, using alcohol as a sleep aid can quickly become a dependency. What starts as an occasional drink before bed turns into a nightly ritual. Your body builds a tolerance, requiring more to get the same effect, all while your heart becomes more fragile with every sip. The painful irony is that the very thing you use to find peace becomes a source of silent harm. I have seen patients who live alone, struggling with loneliness, who use alcohol not just for sleep, but to cope with the quiet. But there are other ways to ease into the night, ways that actually support your heart. Gentle music, deep breathing exercises, a cup of herbal tea, or the simple ritual of dimming the lights and turning off screens early. You deserve to rest, a true healing rest, and your heart, the engine of your life, deserves the chance to fully recover each and every night.
6. What I see every day and what you can do, starting today. As a cardiologist, I have seen the same story play out too often. Different faces, different lives, but the same heartbreaking end. Seniors walk into my office looking perfectly healthy. They smile, they joke, they talk about their grandkids. Many still take a walk every morning, eat their vegetables, and never miss a checkup. But then the test results come in, and I see what they can't: a heart under stress, inflamed blood vessels, silent damage accumulating from habits they never thought were harmful, especially alcohol. I have held patients' hands in the emergency room and spoken with sons and daughters who never saw it coming. Sometimes the patient feels perfectly fine until the very day they are not. That is what makes alcohol so dangerous at this stage of life. The damage happens silently, invisibly, and slowly. It gives no warning until it's too late. A stroke, a heart attack, a heart that simply can't keep up anymore. And yet, and I need you to hear this clearly, the beauty of the human body, especially after 60, is its incredible capacity to heal. It doesn't need you to be perfect. It just needs you to pay attention. A small change today can create ripples that spread into years of better health, stronger energy, and a deeper peace of mind. Whether it's skipping that glass of wine tonight, checking your blood pressure more often, or having an honest talk with your doctor about your habits, it all matters. So the question isn't, is it too late for me? The real question is, am I ready to begin? And if you have watched with me this far, if something is stirring inside of you, then maybe, just maybe, you are already on your way. Because now comes the most important part. It's not just about what you avoid, but what you choose to protect. Your heart deserves better. You have carried so much in this life: family, work, responsibilities, joys, and losses. Through it all, your heart has beaten faithfully without asking for anything in return. But now, after 60, it is asking for one thing: your awareness, your care, your intention. The drinks that once felt harmless, social, or comforting may not be serving you anymore. And the truth is, they may be silently hurting the very organ that has kept you alive all these years. But here is the most important thing. It is never too late to choose differently. Every small decision, skipping tonight's drink, having water instead, asking a question at your next doctor's visit, adds up. Your heart doesn't need perfection. It needs consistency. It needs kindness. This isn't about giving things up. It's about gaining more time, more mornings, more laughter, more strength. It's about being fully here, vibrant, and with a heart that isn't just beating, but thriving. So today, I am asking you to choose one change, just one. Your future self will thank you, your family will thank you, and above all, your heart will know it has not been forgotten. Continue watching our videos on the early warning signs of a stroke and how to prevent them on our channel.